Bill Hamilton gonna pop in on here. Coach, how are you?
I'm doing well, Matt. How are you doing?
Pretty good, pretty good. Thanks for coming on here. I know you're also a principal, so you got a lot of responsibilities as well. So what's that been like, being a coach and a principal? You have a lot to juggle a little bit, right?
Yeah, I get my principal stuff done during the day. Then after school hours, I go hit the coaching circuit.
I mean, that's a pretty balanced day. You got principal here, and you got baseball here. So I'm excited for this team this year. I'll be calling you guys pretty much all year, just like last year. Come out. There's some interesting games last year. There were some good wins. I mean, I was there for the one win, I believe. But this year, do you still got those 21 kids signed up, or has that changed? Or
we're down to 19 right now.
That's still good. You still got 19 kids that signed up. I remember last year I was talking about it at the beginning of the show. You had to bring Cole Burnett and Jack Lendak from the track team to play emergency because you guys had injuries or stuff like that. So do you feel more comfortable with that now? Like, hey, we don't have to go and pick somebody off the track team, or do we got somebody on the bench that's ready to go?
Oh my goodness, it's going to be so much easier this year. we're even looking to add some JP games.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so we're going to go from having barely enough kids to field a team to possibly having two teams. So
that'll be something this year. I know. The one player I'm excited for, your son Brad, coming out senior year, great year on the basketball court. Is he excited to get on the baseball diamond yet, or is he just needs a little break from basketball?
No, the day basketball ended, he was at baseball practice the very next day, and so were the other 3 or 4 kids that played basketball. Last year he was Brad was all league, all district, all county, and he had a pretty nice year as a junior last year, and we're looking for him to expand on that this year.
Yes, most definitely, and those 3 or 4 other players, definitely Preston Gerasitano coming out and Lewis Flowers, right?
Yeah, and Tyler McWilliams is another.
Tyler McWilliams as well. And, if they translate even a speck of what they did on the basketball court, on the baseball diamond, that you guys are going to win some games this year. Those kids are pretty good athletes. And I know Preston played summer ball as well. So that's going to make you a little bit more comfortable from last year. You guys just won, 2 games all year long. I know you did get a playoff win, but this year, what's the main goal? Just maybe 500, or you're reaching higher?
Yeah, I think we could definitely reach higher. Last year we only got 7 games in the regular season.
Yeah,
we were 2-9 overall.
Yeah,
and mainly because we didn't have enough kids, and then weather played a part in it as well.
Oh, I know.
But so when you only have that many kids and not a lot of experience, outside of maybe Brad, Jack Springer, and Logan Klingensmith and Jacob Toto to an extent. This year, we're not losing a single starter. We're bringing back 9 starters, so our expectations are high.
Yes, and I can't wait for it. And I know that you've been bugging me, like, Matt, when am I going to get on air? Well, this is your chance now to get on air and say what you want to say. So who's been like the most like significant in your preseason? I don't know if you guys have scrimmaged. I know Brad's came out, done a good job. And I know you got a lot of guys coming back. Has anybody improved? Has anybody done anything like that that's really opened your eyes a little bit more?
Well, I'll tell you, we just got on the field for the first time yesterday because we've been practicing inside because of the weather and on the parking lot on certain days.
Yeah.
But I tell you, a kid who I think is going to have a huge year this year is going to be Jacob Toto.
All right.
He really improved last year, and the year before he was battling some shoulder injuries. And I think he's fully over it now, and I think he's going to be a huge addition for us.
So he'll still be catching this year.
He's going to be doing quite a bit of catching. We're going to see how that shoulder holds up.
Because I know you were worried about that shoulder.
Yeah,
so
we'll take care of him if it starts to be a bother at some point in the season, we'll move him somewhere else and put someone else in there at catcher.
Do you have somebody in mind that could probably fill in and catch?
Trey Davis, another one of our seniors and a 4-year letterman. He did some catching for us last year when Jake was injured. Jack Springer's also a catcher. Lewis Flowers said that he's caught his whole life. He's one of our freshmen. He said he doesn't particularly enjoy it,
but he can do
it. He can do it if we need him to. So.
And I know Lewis is definitely a guy who just wants to win, and he doesn't really care where he plays. Like he said, he didn't enjoy it, but he came out and said, "Hey, I can do it." So that's just amazing for a freshman to come up and say, like, I don't like it, but if you need me to do it, I'll do it. Mm-hmm. So he definitely did that on the basketball court, and I really can't wait to see that on the diamond as well. This is work ethic. Now, based off that, have you seen anybody else that has really brought that work ethic to the game this year?
No, I will tell you, since we really just started practicing full go because the basketball season went so far.
Yeah.
We have 9 freshmen trying out for the team this year. And every single one of them are bringing it to every practice. So we've been really impressed with the freshman group. And they come, they practice hard, they ask a bunch of questions, and they're doing everything we ask them to do. So coupled with all those, we got 5 or 6 seniors, a couple juniors, Jared Schmidt's another one who played a big part for us last year and this year. And then we have no sophomores, believe it or not. And then we got 9 freshmen. So,
oh boy.
So we got a good mix of older guys and the younger guys to bring them along.
And a lot of those older guys, including Brad, and they've really played that mentor role. Have you seen anybody else willing to pick up that mentor type role on the baseball field?
Yeah, Jack Springer's one. I see him talking to some kids here and there. Really all my seniors. Logan Klingensmith's another one who played a lot of innings for us last year. Hayden Geyer, I can't forget about him. He's a senior that's in the Lewis Flowers mold. Like he goes all out as hard as he can go, and he's another one that that will take the kids and talk to them about what they need to be doing. So
yeah, most definitely. And I'm looking at your schedule here, and I see that you got Brookfield on this schedule.
Yeah,
is that true?
Yes, it is. Yep.
When's the last time as Badger played Brookfield?
It's probably been about 15 years.
Yeah. Oh man, I'll definitely be at that game. I'll be probably making some trips out there anyway, since I'm in the middle. I'd like to do some Ridge games. I just had their coach on; they should have a good year. But other than that, it's gonna be Badger and Brookfield, so that'll be an easy game to go to. So, but I see you got PV and Bristol on here as well. Bristol was good last year. They did lose Church, right? Nick Church.
They lost Nick Church and Hayden Mahan, who was their 2 top pitchers.
So that you guys got to play them, in week 2 after Lordstown in week 1. So you guys are just jumping right into it. You're going to have some competitive games. What are you going to do to kind of shake that rust off a little bit? I know Lordstown, you could probably shake the rust off a little bit in that game, and so maybe pull off a win. But other than that, have you scrimmaged or anything like that?
So we were going to try to scrimmage with Wyndham this week, but the weather did not cooperate real well.
No.
So and next week doesn't look much better. But I know Wyndham's coach really well. He's a really good guy, good friend of mine. And they're probably going to have the best team in the league this year.
Really?
Wyndham. Yeah, they're pretty loaded. And we actually started off our season playing against them. So if we can get a scrimmage in against them, it'd be pretty nice to see where we're at.
Yes, most definitely. Go in and see what they do, and then you go play a game against them. You'll figure out some things. But based off last year, I know we talked. It's a season that you guys probably don't want to remember. Brad had a great year, but other than that, it's kind of a season you don't want to really remember. I know you guys got a playoff win. That was cool. But, you didn't play a lot of games, weather, you didn't have a big team. Now this year you're saying you're a little bit more comfortable with all the players you have, and you might even have a JV team. So that huge jump from last year to this year just has to have you just in a good mood, right?
It does. If I go back 2 years ago, we were a 500 team, and we were playing a lot of young guys, and now those young guys are all seniors.
Yeah.
Last year, unfortunately, the record didn't show it. I mean, we played well.
You did. You did.
Bristol, who made the district finals, we lost to them 1-0.
Yeah.
So
I was there.
and that was a game that Brad pitched pretty well in.
Yes.
But the teams, it seemed like all the teams that we played last year that we got the games in, they were the top tier teams in the league. We didn't really get to play against any lesser talented teams. We played against some pretty difficult teams last year, and this year with getting more of those teams on the schedule, I think the record will reflect it, and I think we'll start beating some of those top tier teams too this year.
And even if you maybe not win those games, you're going out and you're playing tough teams, and that's just gonna make these freshmen more experienced and even better. Playing these top teams like this, including Wyndham and Bristol on there as well. So like going into those games, like how are you going to keep those? You said you had 9 freshmen. So how are you going to keep their heads up? Like, hey, if you strike out, if if a ball goes through your legs, if you miss a catch, how are you going to just keep their heads up and be like, hey, it's okay. Go out and, get it next time.
That's something that Coach Carney, the assistant coach of mine, and I were actually just talking about yesterday. Because even in practice, we could see some of the younger guys get frustrated when they're not doing as well as some of the older guys. And it's a learning process. I tell them, hey, the ball player you're at the beginning of the year is not going to be the ball player you are at the end of the year.
No.
And take it one day at a time and get better each day, and that's all we can ask for.
And
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. Go ahead and finish.
I was going to say, we're bringing back all 9 starters from last. So even as talented as some of these freshmen are, they're going to have to work pretty hard to see the field in a varsity game.
Yeah.
We have 6 at the very minimum 3-year letter winners coming back.
So yeah, they're going to get their time. And, you were talking about how they get frustrated and stuff like that. But in a way, that's a good thing because, they're trying their hardest. And you're like, if they get frustrated, you're going to be like, all right, they're really putting their all into it. If they miss a catch and they're like, oh, whatever, then you have some worrying to do. But you said that they're frustrated. Does that kind of play into, good things as well? Frustration?
Well, it tells us that they care.
Yeah. They really do care.
they really do care. And I wouldn't say that all the freshmen are frustrated. There's a handful of them, and they should be. Some of these guys haven't played in 2 or 3 years. Some of them 4 or 5. So, they didn't have a 13 and 14-year-old team last year or the year before. So they didn't go play with another school or another league. They haven't played any games in 3 years. So I can understand them being a little bit behind the curve.
So, and, that's something they're trying to, get up to speed with, and this is a short matter of time. So, yeah, frustration is going to kick in, but, this is a tough squad, and, it's nice like you said, you have all your 9 starters coming back. So these freshmen can, sit and watch and how they do things, and they can be mentored just a little bit more in the season. If they have to come in later in the season, or even if they don't play at all next year, they'll be ready to go because they sat and watched these guys and were mentored by these guys. Do you feel that same way?
Oh yeah, and I think with the addition of the JV games to get them some experience, help them a lot. But I mean, you know me, you've known me for a long time, Matt.
Yes, yeah.
I'm going to get those kids rotated into play quite a bit.
Oh yeah,
guys. But yeah, we're excited. I'll say this too: the best part about these guys is that they're good kids. Like, we love every one of them, Matt. They're really nice kids, and we enjoy every bit of them.
Yes, most definitely. And from calling these guys in base or in basketball, I've built relationships as well with them, and they're just really good kids, coming in here. So it's nice to see that they work together, and that they they're just willing to work, and you see that from time and time again that hey, they got each other's backs. So that's just something great to see.
It is.
So, but I mean, going in here, about 5 more minutes, we'll get you off here. I know you got to go be a principal again, but you're laugh. But you said you've known me for years, and I've for all these years I've known you. I've known you since I was about probably 8. So I've known you as I've always looked at you as a coach. You were hanging around when I was playing little league football, and Brad was coming up through the Mighty Mites. So you've always been around in that sports world. You've taken care of the Badger sports as well. You're kind of in charge of that, so you've always been around that area. So what have you done to just really take charge at this this baseball position, this head coach position that you've had for how many years now?
This will be my 5th year in it.
5th year. So there's been a lot of coaches coming in and out. I know. So I know Mr. Perk was a coach for a little bit, but you coming in now. What's that been like the past 4 or 5 years? Just be like, hey, I'm coaching baseball.
Mm-hmm. Well, coaching high school baseball is a little bit different.
Yeah.
I've been coaching baseball now for 24 years, believe it or not. And whether it be little league, whether it be softball, whether it be travel baseball. I was Chris Moss' assistant coach at the high school level for quite a few years.
Yes.
And I learned a lot from him. He was a very good mentor to learn from. Real knowledgeable guy, and he passed a lot of his ideas down to me. But I would say that I approach it probably a lot differently than a lot of other coaches, where I try to make it a learning experience all the time. Me, I'm not a yeller or a screamer. And
sometimes,
especially when it comes to like gameplay, I always feel like the game is the kids' time to play. Mm-hmm. And if I need to make corrections, I'll talk to them about when they get to the dugout or the next day of practice. But as far as when it's game time, that's their time to shine. It shouldn't be me out there hooting and hollering.
Yeah, and we see some coaches that do that. They're on the edge of the dugout, like, hey, what are you doing? You're definitely not that guy. You sit back. If they make a mistake, you talk them up a little bit. You make adjustments, and you do it quietly. You don't make it known. You're not that type of guy. I've known you enough to know that you're not. You like to see these kids advance in their careers as a high school athlete, and yelling and screaming at them, at least you see that's not going to help at all. You just try and help them advance very very good, very quietly. And I bet you they really appreciate that, because Josh Upshire screams at them all day. So when they come to you, it's like, all right, he's not going to scream.
I would say with Josh, I wouldn't say it's screaming. I would say that
he doesn't scream. I'm just giving him a hard time.
He's an intense talker.
Oh yeah, he sure is. He's just that type of guy that just get in the zone. Like he wants. I feel like he wants to go back out there and play. And so that really shows a lot that he puts into the game, though. But not everybody's going to be like that. And there's nothing wrong with being like that. Just very vocal. Yeah. But you can be vocal in other ways, and you've definitely showed that. Especially with last year, you always kept your guys' heads up. So that's something that these kids are really gonna have an advantage with.
Yeah, I can't wait. The season starts here in about 2.5 weeks, and we're chomping at the bit.
Yes, most definitely. Well, Coach, I'm gonna let you get back to your high school duties, and I'll see you in a couple weeks. I'll be out there, hopefully the first home game. I should be there this Monday as well for the All-Star game, so that the NAC All-Star game should be very fun to do as well. But hey, we'll see you in a couple weeks for baseball season. Coach, thanks for coming on here.
All right. Hey, thanks for having me.